So let's be trying to have a conversation with Tulsi.
I request everyone kindly mute their speaker. We are going to start the session. Thank you so much. Over to you, Nidhi ma'am.
Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the second technical session of the 3 days workshop. Now, I have the privilege to call upon Professor Dr. Ravi Gupta, Director, Maharaja Agrasen Institute of Management Studies, to give his welcome address. Dr. Ravi Gupta, sir, over to you.
Very good afternoon to all of you. It's a matter of very pride and pleasure for me to be a part of this 3 days workshop organized by Kotilia International Foundation. And we at MAIMS, MATE and Maharaja Agrasen are a part of this event. I take this opportunity to welcome all the dignitaries of this technical session, also all the participants who are there in this platform of June technology, also on YouTube. And the real the announcement.
I think we've lost sir's voice. There's some technical glitch. He'll be here shortly.
I'm audible.
Yes,
audible?
Yes, sir.
Yes. So it's a matter of great pleasure for us, for all of us, and specifically the faculty and students of Maharaja Agrasen Institute of Management Studies and Institute of Technology also. We have very renowned speakers in this technical session, for whom I take this pleasure to welcome them. We have with us in this technical session, Shri Tulsi Tavaria, who is the Chief Executive Officer and Chief Strategist of two companies, Ultra Tech Laboratories and of Alternate Approaches. And we have also Dr. Amit Dwivedi, who is presently a faculty in EDI, Entrepreneurship Development Institute at Ahmedabad. And also we have Shri D. Balasubramaniam, who is a Chief Business Strategist and very actively working on MSME sector in the Philippines and India. We are fortunate to have all these renowned speakers and expertise in the area of business strategies, entrepreneurship, to discuss and to ponder their views in this technical session. I make a hearty welcome to all these three great personalities to be a part of this technical session. And I hope that all the faculty and students who are presently in this technical session, they would be highly benefited by their knowledge and views, which would be shared by all these three dignitaries. Again, I welcome them, and I also thank for their humble presence in this technical session over this electronic platform, Shri D. Balasubramaniam ji, Dr. Amit Dwivedi, and Shri Tulsi Tavaria. Thank you, sir, being here. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. It is indeed a great pleasure to learn from your experiences and deliberations. We have with us Mr. Tulsi Tavaria. Tulsi Tavaria is an entrepreneur economist and a creative strategist who is focused on technology-based businesses and attitudinal transformation. He is currently engaged with BARC's radiation technology projects. Mr. Tulsi is the author of famous book Creation of Wealth versus Transfer of Wealth. He is an expert of socio-economic paradigm shift that is underway in present times and is engaged in transforming the global scenario. Now, I invite Mr. Ajit Tiwari to introduce eminent speaker of the day. Over to you, sir.
थैंक यू वेरी मच मैम। मैं एक बार पुनः इस सत्र के की स्पीकर चीफ गेस्ट डॉक्टर आदरणीय तुलसी टावरी जी का हार्दिक स्वागत अभिनंदन करता हूं और अभी के इस सेशन में आदरणीय तुलसी टावरी जी के साथ कन्वर्सेशन में इस बातचीत को आगे बढ़ाने के लिए और पूरी स्पष्टता से एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप एंड सोसाइटी को एक्सप्रेस करने के लिए आदरणीय तुलसी टावरी जी के साथ उनके सहयोगी और रिनाउंड फाइनेंशियल स्ट्रेटजिस्ट डी बाला सुब्रमण्यम जी का भी मैं हार्दिक स्वागत अभिनंदन करता हूं और मैं आमंत्रित करता हूं डी बाला सुब्रमण्यम जी को कि वो कोऑर्डिनेट करें और अपना कन्वर्सेशन आदरणीय तुलसी टावरी जी के साथ स्टार्ट करें। डी बाला सुब्रमण्यम जी।
Thank you, Ajit. Thank you, Dr. Ravi Kumar, and then for the nice welcome and the greetings that you forwarded to us. It's very warm welcome to everyone and a good afternoon. And on a Sunday evening, everybody is congregating to discuss about entrepreneurship in society. I think it's a great thing to do. So I think I'll just keep it simple. I think I'll just share some of my thoughts, and I think I'll also try to learn along with the group from Tulsi ji in terms of what are these two terms that we keep talking about. When we talk about entrepreneurship, in a typical dictionary meaning of an entrepreneurship is someone who is willing to take a risk to make profits. And at the same time, we also have a lot of variations that have been in the market, especially in the management institutes. We talk about an entrepreneur for business. We talk about intrapreneur. We talk about a social entrepreneur. At the same time, we also have this confusion in the society where we typically groom our kids to become, employees of large organizations. At the same time, when they go down to study at the colleges, we actually train them in terms of all the leading entrepreneurs who made the business world what it is today. So as a student, when I go back to my days in a business school, my first day, I remember it was way back in 1997. So the day I joined the college, we were told that we are here to make you the chief executive officers of large corporates in the world. And I think that was the seed of the confusion in my mind because the very first session that I had was about development of entrepreneurship as a subject. Again, 1997, when most of you guys must be still in school, I'm assuming that a lot of students will be joining this session. Development of entrepreneurship was given as a non-credit course in my college. So basically, which means that you'll not be graded on that course, and it's for you to make up what you want to do. But it's not. No one is going to monitor you in terms of entrepreneurship as a course. Compared to now, 2020, I think the whole business school paradigm has shifted and focusing more on entrepreneurship. So some of those nuances that I have in mind in terms of my journey of entrepreneurship definitely did not start right away. I did have a stint with the corporate world, and when as part of the corporate world, I could sense the variations in terms of people who are leading from the front in terms of the development of the company, and there are also people who think about the society at large while playing the role in the company. And as a financial advisor, I also came in touch with a lot of entrepreneurs. Again, when we talk about entrepreneurs, and especially in the MSME or the small scale sector, so you come across people who think about their company, their people, maybe starts with just themselves to start with. And then there are people who think about what are the implications of this on the overall society. So today's topic is very poignant for me in terms of we're calling it entrepreneurship society. So what is the link between, how does entrepreneurship come onto board? I mean, again, going back to my college days, the discussion and the debate was, can entrepreneurs be created or are they born? Or, or is there a way of actually doing it? what are the support systems required to build an entrepreneur in, and what does it actually mean? And also at the same time, what is the meaning of society? Is it coming from Bombay? A building is a society because we call it a cooperative housing society. Is it a group of people? Is it a village? Is it a town? Is it a country? So these are some things that keeps playing in my head in terms of the basic definition of entrepreneurship and the basic definition of society. The two key operating words for the head, the topic for the discussion right now is entrepreneurship society. So maybe Tulsiji, I would like to throw this to you in terms of why don't we get some clarity in terms of what does entrepreneurship mean and what does society mean to start with?
Well, thank you, Balaji, and thanks everyone. This is probably my second interaction with this institute. Once I was invited in Delhi campus, and now thanks to Corona that we are learning to deal with each other and talk to each other on internet. And so I'm very thankful for this opportunity because I'm very, very keen about the youth. And because the youth is always the naturally champion of the future. So, but the point is that with all the enthusiasm of the youth and energy of the youth, if you are at a cross section and you're not aware whether to go left and right and which way to go, if the clarity is not there and confusion is there, then all the energy is going to be dissipated in figuring out what to do, how to do. So here it is. It's a wonderful thing, Balaji, that you opened the topic that that it should be addressed right from the root level as to what is the first of all this. So many times we take it for granted whatever we hear, and these terminologies, and then these terminologies are like interpreted differently by different people. So society, you said I should address first, so let me start with society. Now the point is, I want you to think logically actually, because we have no way of looking into the record of the mankind when the journey may have begun someday. We can visualize that, I don't want to go to the monkey level, although we are told that, we have come from monkey, but I would definitely like to think all the way down to cave level, maybe sometime we were all in caves, we can visualize, right? I mean, overnight, the cities are not created overnight. These technologies have not come. So nature was there and the people were there. Well, let's assume that and not worry about before that. So people, and that's what, now the thing is, how many people are required to say that a society has begun? This is my first question. So there is no possibility of interaction here, but I'm asking a question as if we are asking ourselves, and I'll be answering for all of you. So, the beauty, if you really want to understand the fundamental of society, then we know that there is nothing called society anywhere. Where is the society? What is this society? It is a concept. Society is actually a concept. It is not a physical entity. What is a physical entity? Individuals are physical entity. I am there, you are there, we are all there. We live in a house, we live in a town. So there are many people around. So it is people, so individuals, when they come together, right? And that is a society. So the point is, why do they come together? They must have thought someday it is very difficult to protect alone, but if there are 10 of us together, it is easier to deal with some sort of a crisis. Think about the times when we were in jungles. So somebody may attack, but then we are together. So the first and foremost reason that people probably wanted to come together. But let me ask you, how many people are required to make a society to begin with? What is the minimum number of people? The answer obviously is 2. Society actually begins the day a person wants to be friend with another friend. And that's where the seed of society begins, when 2 people want to trust each other, want to connect with each other and begin to want to share their things with each other. And they want to be together. And that's what now you can imagine that how do this institution of marriage has come about, that a husband and wife come together and the first society is formed, that is we call is family. And then individuals die, society doesn't die, because you create an institution, children are born, children's children are born. So we all may have forgotten, or we may not keep track of that 10 generations before who was my great 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 grandfather or mother, but we all know that they were there. Like 10 generations later, children will know that we existed. So this is an institution. So family becomes the first. So my point is, society is the moment individual and another individual come together. It's the beginning of society for the purpose of common good of both. So this 2 can be 20, this 2 can be 200. So then family goes to village. That number of such families coming together and a village is created. In urban settlement, you can call that a society is created where you have your own friends. Why even when you go to the class standard 1, a society is created, that class is a society. So today when you are 30 years old, 25 years old, and you remember 7-year-old time of your own, so you remember your society of that, and it creates a happiness in your mind that I have a friend from a standard 1 or 2. So that was also a society. So now the point is, what do we call society? You raised a question that what is actually, how many types of societies can be there? So just imagine how many ways we can learn to be together. As I said, that a classroom is a society, right? That's why we are connected, not all, but then some of us, those who connect, we remain connected for life. That is a society. That town is a society when there is a Nagar Palika, and your town as a whole elects a Nagar Palika, and then that Nagar Palika takes care of is supposed to take care of Gram Panchayat is a society. It's supposed, and the nation as a whole is a society, and the world as a whole is a society. That's why we've created United Nations. So all this, so how many types of these groups can be there? I mean, thousands, right? I mean, so how does it matter? Is there a problem? If I am a part of a number of groups, is there a problem? There's no problem. From different languages, people form different communities, they become society. Does it mean that I speak Hindi, another friend of mine speaks Tamil, or Balaji speaks Telugu actually, and Bengali also? So he belongs to multiple language communities. Is there a problem? Is there a conflict? That why Balaji should be only, I mean, it's your ability to belong to as many societies. The point is that, so what I am trying to refer to here, Balaji, is that society, there are 2 elements. Now, to understand society, there is an individual. So an individual has an identity, like I am Tulsi Tauri, I am your Bala Subramaniam, our students, they all have their names, and one day they have a dream and they will grow themselves to become. And now there was an Amitabh Bachchan who became an Amitabh Bachchan during the journey of his effort, So individuals work on their effort and on their own selves. So that is an individual identity. You prove to yourself that, today I was watching TV, suddenly I saw 14 years later, you remember Bindra, the guy who was a shooter in Olympic, he got the first, so, just half an hour ago. So that's the individual identity, like you achieve something, excel, and you reach to your fullest. Group identities are meant for what? Group identities, we create, we come together, first of all, to protect ourselves from any kind of negative that can happen to group. But more importantly, group identities are created to facilitate each individual to reach to the fullest. So society, if you want to understand, you need to understand there are 2 parameters. One is individual. So individual has an identity. Consider that as the center of a circle. Okay. And now you draw a circle around it as a group identity, that is your family identity. And keep on drawing circle after circle and as many circle, that is your caliber and your expertise, that how many group identities you can belong to, and yet be very comfortable, and each of that group identity is supposed to empower you, your center, as an individual. And that doesn't mean you alone, because any group has a number of you, number of me. So that group is supposed to empower each individual individually to flourish. So this is the meaning of society that I understand, you know. So I hope this I have defined, you know, and I don't see any conflict. For example, even to the point that if I go and live in America, like many of us, so there is an Indian identity, you know, my root identity, and then I become a citizen of America, for example. A lot of our friends are there. So there is an American identity. Does it mean that there is a conflict, that why he is an American or whether he is an Indian? I see no conflict, because as long as he is in America, he should be utilizing all his ability as a group of America to empower each American. And as he is an Indian identity, you know, as he is an Indian identity, he should be utilizing all his strength available to him from the American identities and all other group identities to empower every Indian. Otherwise, why should he call himself Indian? You know, so the moment you define yourself with a group identity, that means, okay, so let me hold on. Otherwise, it will go on and on. We have limited time. Okay,
I
Balaji.
think, yeah, I'm just trying to, you know, while you're talking about individuals and society, I was just trying to see the analogy in terms of an entrepreneur. You know, so you start as an individual with an individual idea or a you know, or a, and then the first thing you need to do, you know, so when this question was asked to my batch, like as entrepreneurs, what are the first thing that you want to learn? And the common answer was people spoke about they want to understand how to manage finances, how to manage, you know, and then finally when the professor said, okay, what about, you know, will you be the guy who will be doing all this on your own? So will you be, you know, a person who will do the finances? You'll be looking at the technology. Will you be the guy to run the factory? So no, I definitely need people to do that, right? I mean, so I think I was just trying to hear those conversations in the light of what you're saying. Like an individual starts, and then the society is basically the first team member that you choose as an entrepreneur, and then the whole ecosystem falls in place. So even the people who are not connected to you start supporting you, you know, as a customer or a regulator or whichever role they need to play, and that's maybe the identity in terms of, you know, an entrepreneur at an individual level, an idea level, to an SME, to a local MNC, to a global MNC. You know, maybe that's the transition of saying in terms of in an individual, the role he plays in the society, the district, to the state, and maybe on a global scale. So just to transpose this in terms of, the way I was looking at society is the support system that an individual needs for his individual identity to be preserved. He will need a group to be in place. So similarly, for an entrepreneur to survive and grow, and definitely you'll need you know, a team and also a group identity. Maybe we call it sectors or industries, you know, different names in terms of where we actually start the whole thing, and we call it a conglomerate when you have multiple, you know, businesses inbuilt in the entrepreneurship journey. So just you know, the curious in terms of the same analogy, how if we had to define an entrepreneur, what are the critical, you know, what are the critical components that is required to make an entrepreneur?
You know, this again.
You put yourself on mute, Tusiji.
Oh yeah, yeah. I had put myself on the. Okay, you know, now it's good to talk about entrepreneur. Yeah, sure. See, the individual only has to be seen as an entrepreneur first and foremost. But in today's context, generally, entrepreneur word is totally connected with business word actually. So let me first address from the business perspective, the meaning of entrepreneur, and then actually, if we have time, I should address the issue that entrepreneuring is not only about doing business. It is far greater term, and it is actually about a pursuit to creation, you know, and one may do it for business or may not do it for business. But let's talk about business first, because, you know, the creation of wealth, that is the money is a fundamental premise on which society is built. And, you know, I mean, 8 to 10 hours a day, at least one member of a family has to work to earn money. And that is where the importance of money comes from. One. Second is that money measures all the things that we do in society. So the importance of money should be fully appreciated and understood. More importantly, like in an ocean, we have a boat, and if you don't have money, then you don't have a boat, you will sink. It is in that context that poverty is the greatest kind of a problem that a family or an individual can face. So the importance of money. So let's understand that every individual has, the society's larger objective with regards to money has to be that why should any individual be poor? Why should every individual not be prosperous? And right now we have a limited time, but I can prove to you that poverty is a man-made phenomenon. Poverty is not natural. Prosperity is natural, and entrepreneur has a major role to play in making it happen. Now that's the way. So let's understand what do I mean by that. To my mind, money addresses the issue of market, and there are many different kinds of skills we develop, and finally we produce something which we can sell to other people. Other people buy it because they cannot make it for themselves. I buy things which I cannot make it, but I need or I want. So that is where the power of money actually becomes the binding force for the whole society, whatever that society. If it is a rupee currency, then we are talking about only India. But the moment you forget about the currencies, you can talk about the whole world, because then you have conversion rates and all. So market has nothing to do. The sizes of market can be different. You can be talking about a rural market, you can be talking about a state level market, or a national level market, or a global market. The fundamental premise of money creation is the same. It's the drop of water, whether it is in a glass or whether it is in ocean, they are same. That formula is H2O. So wealth creation, entrepreneurship, it is a fundamentally same thing, and that is what needs to be understood by our youth first and foremost. So what happens is, in a society, there are many people who are looking for jobs because they cannot overnight create an enterprise. So they are looking for job. So in a train, one should call oneself a wagon, playing the role of a wagon in the train. And all these wagons, those who are seeking jobs today, will they ever have a job if an engine is non-existent? What do you say? Without engine, will there be any movement whatsoever? No. So obviously, some wagons, some of us convert ourselves from job seekers to job creator, and that is where the engine. So we try to become engine. Like, first of all, I drive myself. I start something so that I am not looking for a job, but I am able to earn something so that I am able to sustain my family. Suppose I start a pan thela. We look down upon this, unorganized sector, but there is nothing negative about that. Why? Because I tell you, even the owner of a barista, for example, he is also a chai seller. Don't forget that. Okay, coffee in this case, fine. But that doesn't mean that the chai wala is doing any inferior, on the railway station. And just because so the entrepreneur is not about the size, it is about the being an entrepreneur, that is being an engine, being the creator of a new enterprise. And so the entrepreneurship in business basically becomes an initiative to start your own activity. Does it also mean that all business owners are entrepreneurs? Certainly not. An entrepreneur has created a new enterprise, meaning is taken from 0 to 1. Meaning it was 0, he has created 1. Children are getting a naturally ready-made business, and they are simply coming and managing. So by becoming manager of, no matter how rich they are, the children are very rich because they are actually owner of the fruits which their parents have created earlier. That doesn't make, because they are sitting on capital, that doesn't make them entrepreneur in business. What will make them entrepreneur? That they themselves think about a new idea and apply it and create a new enterprise other than what is going on. So this is how I define entrepreneurship in business.
Okay, that's a very refreshing way of looking at entrepreneurship. Coming completely different from what is typically lectured in most of the business schools, at least in my time. One query that actually crops up based on what you said is that so an entrepreneur is someone who definitely is taking a risk, but he also looks at uh, you know either consciously or subconsciously has an idea in terms of what is the impact on society at large, right? So either he creates new products through innovation, or he creates new employment for more people, or definitely he does something which has an implication beyond himself and his family. That's one definition I see. Do you see there are varieties of entrepreneurs in terms of I'm not saying in terms of an industry sector or in terms of, because there could be various levels of risk that people can take. It can be an idea
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
already there in the US and I'm getting into the Indian market. I call myself an entrepreneur. Because I'm not changing anything in the business logic or an idea from innovation point of view. Are there any of those nuances that you'd like to bring about in terms of defining an
Yeah, I think this the point that you are asking is actually that are all entrepreneurs can be equated as one? Certainly not. Certainly not. There are different roles different entrepreneurs play, but to single out specifically, there are two specific roles of entrepreneur which, in my mind, they come to me as a most pivotal, if I can give a term, that pivotal role in entrepreneurship is that there are two specific roles. The one I like to call is a pioneering entrepreneur. That means there may be many entrepreneurs who are not pioneering entrepreneurs. They are second level entrepreneurs who are existing because of the pioneering entrepreneur. They come into existence because of if the pioneering entrepreneur is missing, those entrepreneurs are not created. And the second one is a knowledge entrepreneur. Knowledge entrepreneur is the one who is assimilating the knowledge, whatever is available, and thinking and creating an enterprise based on knowledge. So, for example, today we know that everybody has heard of Edison. I take this example, Edison. Why? Because Edison created electricity, you see. And then he did not create, because human beings don't create anything. We learn from nature and reproduce. Yeah. So we understand the principle of nature and find something from the nature. So the guy who took something which was not visible, there was a moment in this world before that electricity was non-existent. There was a moment before which a computer was non-existent. There was a moment that internet was non-existent. There was a moment that cycle was non-existent. Don't underestimate the innovation of cycle. The circle, the concept of circle, when it was invented, and then the cycle came, that was we were walking and then we could run on cycle, speed. So all this, what I am talking about is basically coming up with some specific knowledge from the nature that makes the whole society jump. Is it that Edison alone is the running that bulb, or every household has a bulb today? And until bulbs are there, then name of Edison will never disappear, because he is the knowledge. And now he converted, whether he converted his knowledge into enterprise, in his case he did. That General Electric was created by him. But in many cases, the enterprises are created by other people other than the innovator. So they become the knowledge entrepreneur, that they take, and it's never true that one person's innovation brings about an enterprise. There are many kinds of elements of innovations which are brought together, and the entrepreneur is the one who becomes that knowledge entrepreneur. So these are the two categories. Now, pioneering entrepreneur, let me explain a little bit more to make my point. There is a place called Namakkal in Tamil Nadu, I think, next to Salem. I know that guy. I know that guy. There was a fellow in here in Bombay, and he was working in Chembur, in this oil industry. And one day he figured out a business model. What was that? That he will create this body for long trucks 20-footer and all that, you know. So Namakkal he went, and somehow he started because he had this contact and all. And Namakkal never had this kind of industry before that. And today you go and find out how many bodies, how many entrepreneurs exist in Namakkal and what's happening. How did this revolution came about? If he was the owner of Namakkal, for example, he will be bigger than any Tata or any Bill Gates, you know. That's how large that. Same is the story about Shivakasi. When you talk about the calendar making, when you talk about the fireworks, same is the story about Ludhiana, you know. And there is I think they have a speaker here, Dr. Kanak Savapati. He's written a book on this India's many clusters. So each one having 100 crores to a million, lakh crore turnover, Coimbatore. So some places are known for hosiery. So, you know, what my request to everybody here, those who are concerned about how to create entrepreneurs in India, is that pay attention to which particular individual has developed oneself to be capable of becoming pioneering entrepreneur. And one pioneering entrepreneur you will see over a period of 10 to 20 years will convert into a cluster of enterprises, because India is full of enthusiasm for enterprises. 80% Indians are not employees. 80% Americans are employees. We need to understand these fundamentals of Indian mindset, which is very much there, but somehow we have not been able to understand and harness that power of entrepreneurship in a right way. So these are the two kinds of entrepreneurs that I narrated. And why knowledge entrepreneur is very, very crucial. And you know, when you have 1,000 pioneering entrepreneur and 10,000 entrepreneurs, out of them, maybe there will be one knowledge entrepreneur. That is how important knowledge entrepreneur can be. But that one knowledge entrepreneur brings about a new kind of material, a new kind of a process that the whole world needs. And that is why the knowledge-based entrepreneur, unfortunately, India has been able to succeed with pioneering entrepreneur despite all kinds of troubles that 70 years, this I must mention, that India 70 years has suffered because of not understanding entrepreneur. And that is the only people who have become successful as entrepreneur are really phenomenally Hanuman kind of a, you know, and to everyone who is successful, 100 people have died, because it's like, you know, killing the child in the womb of a mother. That is how our negative system of bureaucracy. Bureaucracy is not wrong. The way bureaucracy is designed in a non-wealth creative manner, that even a good man is working in a negative manner for the entrepreneurs, and that is what has killed. And now hopefully times are coming. So this is about my point on pioneering entrepreneur and knowledge entrepreneur.
Okay, I think that's fantastic. I'm just trying to imagine, you know, a pioneering entrepreneur and a knowledge entrepreneur coming together, and what kind of explosive thought process may actually come out of such kind of a fusion of ideas between a knowledge entrepreneur and a pioneer and risk taking, both coming in together.
Let me add here, you know, the moment we talk about knowledge entrepreneur, you know, let's not get carried away by business only. You know, like I remember this gentleman in our who made the Delhi Metro, Shashidharan. Sridharan. Right? Now, Sridharan did not start a business for himself. But Sridharan was a probably 1,000 times more important entrepreneur, because he created an institutional mechanism. So entrepreneuring is not about just starting a business enterprise. It is about in any field. For example, when Swami Vivekananda on September 11, 1893, single-handedly spoke on the dais of Chicago, and all the country, most newspapers in the world were carrying his name in the next. You know, what kind of entrepreneur was he? You know, what kind of creation he made, what kind of impact he made. You know what I mean? I mean, so it can go to any level and to any extent in any different, like even today, one can see that our Prime Minister is functioning in an entrepreneurial manner. What is it that, where does this ideas come, and collection of different ideas and making a headway into a different kinds of problem solving simultaneously, So in every sector and segment, in every activity, an entrepreneur is about problem solving. Remember that, and applied to business, it becomes a business entrepreneur. Yeah. Sorry, I interrupted you, but
No, I think perfectly fine.
Yeah.
I think, in fact, no, you actually have fueled my thoughts a bit more by saying what you just said. So that actually brings us to the point to think about in terms of, did we as a society also get pulled down in terms of, I'm saying, the last 70 years maybe, by looking down at business and entrepreneurship as something negative? Because the moment we talk about business, we think about profit. The moment we think about profit, we think about profiteering, which is so very different from profits. So I just want to understand, what is the role of society to create this entrepreneurial spirit? How do you groom and sustain
Yeah,
this?
yeah. Yeah, I gather your question. It is very, very important question, because it is going to now open up a topic which is a fundamental core topic in my view for the global economy in time to come. I mentioned that entrepreneur is about being an engine of a train. You remember that, correct? What if I tell you that actually the economy is a train which doesn't run by one engine, it runs by two engines in two ends, in moving in opposite directions. What does that mean? It simply means that there are two kinds of entrepreneurs. Even the pioneering entrepreneur and knowledge entrepreneurs can be of two kinds. One is a Shubh Labh entrepreneur, and the other is a Ashubh Labh entrepreneur. And there is a fundamental directional difference. Why does a person become Shubh Labh entrepreneur? Why does another person become Ashubh Labh entrepreneur? We don't have time to go into that today. But when it happens, what does happen to the economy? That I would like to address, because that's what your question is really about. So the Shubh Labh entrepreneur is one. So when a person makes money for oneself, the society as a whole becomes a gainer. Everybody becomes prosperous, and nature is not hurt. So the Shubh Labh entrepreneur keeps two fundamental objectives before one's mind subconsciously. And this we do because of, not necessarily because we know, we have read somewhere that what is the Shubh Labh entrepreneur and all. It is because we have been nurtured in that manner from childhood, and our culture, our tradition, that makes us understand the importance of society. That when I am concerned about my family, I should be simultaneously concerned about my society. So I cannot make money by cheating people. I cannot steal money. I cannot hurt others in process of making money. Actually, when you do that, when you make 1 rupee, so when a Shubh Labh entrepreneur makes 1 rupee or $1, the society makes $10. Then only the Shubh Labh entrepreneur is able to make $1 or 1 rupee. You see my point? When Ashubh Labh entrepreneur is not creating a new economy, Ashubh Labh entrepreneur is actually hurting the economy, is hurting the nature. And what they do, they utilize the intellect of the best, most qualified people in society and confuse them, make them their slaves, create a greed model for them, business model, and actually manipulate the total economy in and out. How? It needs time to discuss. We need another hour to talk about how all this happens. One quick example I can give you, that if your house in Bombay was worth say 10 lakh rupees in 2004, has anybody questioned why did this 10 lakh rupee house become 1 crore or 1.5 crore in 2014, in 10 years time? Why? And how does it help society? You all become poorer when the cost of house goes up because it is a basic need. So this one example I'm quoting. There can be many things I can talk about here, but the point I'm referring to, that Ashubh Labh entrepreneur functions in a manner that it actually confuses society, and it manipulates society, and it takes the money created by the very society is transferred So I call suction of money from the society, and that is where my book's name has come about, Transfer of Wealth. So while there are 90% people may be engaged in creation of wealth, 10% people are doing nothing but transferring that created wealth to themselves. So there is a concentration of capital in fewer hands. And I should remind for the wise listeners here, if you want to understand all that, go to the book of French economist Thomas Piketty, who's become very famous for his very thick book that how the current world for last 100 years is actually being run by a handful people, and they are manipulating the economy left and right. So don't take it from me, take it from the established economists, you know. So this is what is going on. So now you see the Shubh entrepreneur and a Shubh entrepreneur. So which direction the train will go? Train will go where the horsepower is more. Today's Ashubh entrepreneurs are the highest horsepower. How much highest? I will say they are 10 times more powerful than the Shubh entrepreneurs. And the Shubh entrepreneurs need to, does it mean that Shubh engine should disengage from the society and sit at home? No, they are at least doing whatever best they can do, but they need to work. And society as a whole has a responsibility towards nurturing and empowering. Now, this is where your question, fundamental question, that what is the role of society for entrepreneurs? This comes. Why? Because, you know, when children are born, they don't walk from the first day. So there are parents, grandparents who make them, help them walk till the day that they are able to walk. Same logic applies to entrepreneurs in India or anywhere in the world, in any society, in any community. All entrepreneurs need to be seen as not other people. They need to be seen as our engines. And one needs to go out of their own family and identify in my circle or outside where is the enthusiastic youth, and I need to handhold. I need to handhold because no entrepreneur becomes successful in one try, one effort. You know, it's like learning how to cycle. How many times you have fallen, Balaji, when you learned cycle in childhood? But finally you learned, correct? And when you learned, did you ever forget it? Entrepreneuring is like that. So till a child has learned, or till a first generation entrepreneur has found the break even, till that point, there is a society as a whole is responsible. And unless we see where the problem is, the people who have become successful or the people who are in power and position and privileges, they have to get down. वो जो बोलते हैं हिंदी में, ऊंट से नीचे उतरने का समय आया है. So they need to come down from their levels where they have reached and handhold young entrepreneurs. And they can be people who are immediately coming out of the college, or they can be people who are working in their own organizations. You know, where did you see? Why does the corporate chiefs do not understand the responsibility that if there is any entrepreneur caliber in their organization, and if they are making them work as managers, high-end managers, that is the greatest error they are making with themselves, with the employee, and with the society at large. They need to identify and empower those individuals and make them succeed as entrepreneurs. So these are my take on this, entrepreneur and society and Shubh Labh, Ashubh Labh, directional, and all these things. I hope my points are becoming clearer to people, but I don't know. Let's see.
Yeah, actually, it's very important that what you said. So yeah, I mean, we all have a role, like I said, as a consumer, as a financial, as an investor, we all have play a role in the growth of entrepreneurship. But actually, it reminds me of an anecdote about. Sorry to digress a bit and getting into Vedanta here. Like, how did Ratnakar become Valmiki? So that story reminds to me, when we're talking about Ashubh Labh and Shubh Labh, how do we make the Ashubh Labh engine into Shubh Labh engine? Just reminds me about when Ratnakar was a dacoit, and and he was definitely doing that to take care of his family. And so one wise man said that, no, fine, no, but did you ever check with your family that are they supportive of the actions that you're doing to earn the money for the family? And the family said, it's your duty to earn the money, so we are fine, but we are not part of your crime. and that was a changing point for him to shift into to use the same horsepower. So the person, the individual, was not transformed. His mind was transformed, in a radical way, and that made Ratnakar the dacoit into Valmiki, the way we know. So, what kind of mechanisms can society play in terms of putting this Ashubh Labh engine back on track?
Let's see, you have brought in the most beautiful point, which is a realistic. I would call it a realistic point. I'm really delighted that you brought this point. You see, we have been talking all along about technology disruptions, right? Technology, this technology, this technology. Yeah. But let me tell you, now we are at the verge of mind disruption. This is not the next major disruption, is not a technology disruption. There are enough technologies to help mankind for next 100 years. Even now, if you stop doing research in science and technology, there is enough knowledge available for next 100 years. What is most important is this mindset disruption. So when a person realizes, and a person's realization is a moment in one's life. If we are thinking in this way, it is because, I remember my own father and mother, how we were brought up and how strict they were when I was 10 years old about what is Shubh and what is Ashubh. And how did they impacted my mind to think in this way only. There is no, I don't want any Ashubh of, I am happy with 1 rupee of Shubh Labh against 1,000 rupees of Ashubh Labh. Because you know what? Money is a means towards a greater growth. Money is not the objective. Because money is like a boat. If I have a boat, money is like a wheel in a car. If I don't have wheel, I cannot drive my car. But after having four wheels, maybe I need 1 spare wheel. And after that, if I have 40 more wheels, what do I do with that? Do I just keep that in the stores? No. I make sure that every car or every individual has a wheel, right? So it is that kind of a phenomenon that is required to be done. This thought has to come in the mind of all the people. And no person inside is basically an Ashubh person. It's just that thought has come in their mind somewhere in their journey, that it is the growth means that how much more money I have under my own hand, controlled. So this whole phenomenon of control, that if I have more money and I'll control, and today's world is being controlled by power of money, really. You don't need weapons to control this world anymore for fighting. So this control freaks only. So leave that control freaks out. I don't think anybody can change their mind. But there are many people, 99% people who are serving this control freaks. And they are on the side of Ashubh Labh. And उनको ये समझना होगा कि सोने के पिंजरे में नहीं होना. उनको ये समझना होगा कि I don't want a golden tail. I want an iron in my hand. तो बोलते हैं ना, मेरे को एक लोहे का कवच मेरे लिए ज्यादा इंपॉर्टेंट है सोने की पूंछ के बदले. That kind of a thought process. Ideally, it will come from childhood. But the youth, those who are listening to me, you are the future of India, you are the future of the world. If you do not decide in your own mind that 100 रुपए का बीमारी वाला अर्थव्यवस्था ज्यादा अच्छा कि 50 रुपए वाला बिना बीमार पड़े स्वस्थ रहना ज्यादा अच्छा. So don't measure progress by the money alone. See whether the value addition makes sense for the society and nature or not. So this thought process has to, and somewhere it has to hit. And if it hits the way your example Ratnakar was hit, then we are sitting on a golden opportunity in our country that suddenly you can have a dream of million entrepreneurs, pioneering entrepreneurs. मतलब कितने हनुमान हैं जिनको जामवंत जगाना है. So I don't know. We have to figure out the technique of jagana, and youth can tell us better that what is it required that a Hanuman comes out of them. So this is my take on your point.
Right. That's fantastic stuff. In terms of, so I keep thinking in terms of, because what binds us in terms of family is one is definitely money, because we need to take care of our existence, so to say. But at the same time, that 1 rupee you said of Shubh gives you more peace and affection and love from your family, as compared to $1 million from the Ashubh Labh kind of economics, because that does not let you sleep end of the day. Forget about justifying outside in the world, but when you go back and then you look at yourself in the mirror, you know that something is wrong for sure. And if you consciously keep killing that conscience, you can keep killing it. But I'm sure those thoughts will definitely come into every individual who knows that they are damaging the society, they are damaging the nature, they're damaging the youth. Somewhere, something is definitely hitting everyone. I think I'm just looking at the watch. Maybe it's 4:20.
Yeah, we should now just sum up maybe.
Yeah, I think, maybe
I'll just make one point and we should sum up and then you can put your points. One is that when it comes to society, understand what is the importance of individual identity and what is the role of government group identities that we create around us. And when it comes to entrepreneur, understand what is the meaning of Shubh Labh and Ashubh Labh, and understand the meaning of how to become a pioneering entrepreneur, how to become a knowledge entrepreneur. Now, these are the 5 terms kind of, which I like to leave this thought, youth with this thought, so that they think about it. And okay.
I think maybe we can take some questions now. If we have time, that is.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Shri Tulsi Tavrai ji. Thank you, Shri D. Bala Subramaniam ji, for sharing your knowledge with us. It was really an stimulating session. It is indeed a new dimension to look at the concept of entrepreneurship. And you rightly deliberated that it is need of art to have pioneer entrepreneurs, not only second level entrepreneurs. Thank you, sir. Thank you for giving us a food for thought. Next, we are blessed with the gracious presence of Dr. Raja. He is an eminent speaker and teacher of teachers. With over 60 years of experience, many CEOs have been trained under him. He is thus Architecture of Entrepreneurs of India. Thank you so much, sir, for gracing us with your presence. We are blessed to have you with us.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Welcome, sir.
Thank you. I didn't expect this. It was indeed very thought-provoking, and I know the philosophy that Tulsi has been championing with great passion for a long time. So I'm familiar with that. I think one of the things that his views that he propounded today would lead to is a re-examination, I think a complete re-examination of the concepts of education, employment, and entrepreneurship. In the context of the new industrial revolution that we are going to enter, that we have already entered. And this is a very opportune moment. You have the new education policy, which stresses so much the foundational skills of the first 8 years, age 3 to age 8, where so much stress has been placed on critical thinking, on analysis, on questioning, on problem solving, and so on. So that the boy, right from the start, gets an entrepreneurial mindset. And then from the age of 8, he is given some activities which will be of interest to him. And later on, the vocational stream is integrated with the mainstream of education, so that right from the school stage, the boy or the girl gets an opportunity to develop an entrepreneurial mindset. Now, what we really need is, as Tulsi said, you don't The child needs to be taught to walk, need to be helped to walk. We need some nurturing. And that's where I think knowledge entrepreneurs have a great role to play. And you nurture them. You give them the confidence to go forward. They can seize an opportunity. They can spot an opportunity. They can seize an opportunity. They can take the requisite risks to make use of that opportunity. And then, along with the risk, they can get a good return also. So I think that's the sort of thing that we should really be looking at. And here is an opportunity to develop what he calls Shubh Labh entrepreneurship. Not for individual profit, but for social good. And I think that's a point which has been so clearly, so passionately expounded by Tulsi today. Thank you very much. Thank you, Tulsi.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for your wisdom of words. Next, we have an eminent speaker, Dr. Amit Dwivedi ji with us. Dr. Amit Dwivedi ji is an associate professor and in charge, Department of Policy, Advocacy, Knowledge and Research. Sir has over 14 years of teaching and research experience. Sir is working at Entrepreneurship Development Institute of India, Ahmedabad as faculty. Sir has published many papers in journals of national and international repute and contributed many textbooks and reference books. Now, I invite Mr. Ajit Tiwari to introduce our eminent speaker. Over to you, sir.
थैंक यू वेरी मच मैम. वैसे तो आपने ब्रीफ में काफी कुछ डॉक्टर अमित द्विवेदी जी के बारे में कहा है, लेकिन डॉक्टर अमित द्विवेदी जी की जो समझ है, जो इनकी अंडरस्टैंडिंग है, जो इनका कंट्रीब्यूशन है इन द फील्ड ऑफ एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप टीचिंग एंड ट्रेनिंग के लिए, उसके लिए उस पर बोलने के लिए काफी समय कम पड़ जाएगा. इनकी जो अंडरस्टैंडिंग और जो इनका यूनिक अप्रोच है, इससे पहले कि हम उसके बारे में कुछ बोलें, इनके द्वारा जब ये सेशन लेंगे, हम सब उनके ज्ञान से, उनके उद्बोधन से लाभान्वित होंगे और उससे खुद ही दिए को के प्रकाश की जरूरत सूर्य को नहीं होती, सूर्य अपने प्रकाश से स्वयं ही प्रकाशित और चिन्हित होता है. तो इन्हीं शब्दों के साथ मैं डॉक्टर अमित कुमार द्विवेदी जी का हार्दिक स्वागत, अभिनंदन करता हूं और मैं उनको आग्रह करता हूं कि वो कृपया आए और अपना उद्बोधन प्रस्तुत करें. डॉक्टर अमित द्विवेदी जी.
सबको नमस्कार, बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद इस महत्वपूर्ण परिचर्चा में भाग लेने के लिए. I was listening Mr. Tawari just now and very important talk he was giving. It was really enlightened talk and very much relevant to the context of entrepreneurship development today in our country. I'm also very much thankful for Kautilya International Foundation and the university for hosting this important talk, which is relevant for every youth, every faculty member, everybody who is trying to contribute in the nation building. And fortunately, this COVID has created a situation where we all are sitting together, trying to brainstorm, trying to contribute with our potential for this country, for this great nation. And I'm going to talk a little bit about entrepreneurship and the society, because the topic which is given to me, society and entrepreneurship, I think it is very, very important for the context, because we have a unique society in the country, thousands and thousands of years of old society we have. And everything which is there today is because of the society. I'm trying to relate, though it is not a very mature attempt, but I'm trying to relate society with entrepreneurship with my presentation. I could not get much of time to prepare, but still, pardon me for anything if I'm presenting here not relevant.
I think there is some technical issue at their end. It is.
Please allow me to share the screen. The host has to allow me.
Yes, sir. You can share now, sir.
Okay, thank you. I hope this is visible to everybody.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. The context set here for the discussion is self-reliant India. And this is a new word to us, self-reliant. We are quite aware about Atmanirbharta, Swadeshi, Bharatvarsh. But this is a new word for those who are just listening to the government policies and programs and thinking about how we can make India self-reliant. I consider that this is a new attempt to make India self-reliant. Though we had a great history, we were self-reliant already. I'll try to put some data here, and through that, I'll initiate my discussion. Also, I'm going to talk a little bit about the education part because I'll relate education with the entrepreneurship, with the society, and then how India can again be self-reliant. I'm categorically saying again self-reliant because it was there for thousands of years. That is what data says. Again, we are trying to reach out to that level. So when we think about the education of India, I'm going a little beyond. I was browsing through the education system in our country. It was a holistic education approach. Holistic means it was value-driven. It was for peace of mind. When you have peace of mind, when you have peace in the society, peace on the globe. A logical thinking to see things in a better manner for the social cause. Problem solving to solve the problems of the society, individuals, families, as well as business. To be self-disciplined, because if you're self-disciplined, you can be a good human, good individual for the society. Sacrifice. Each and every level you have to sacrifice something so that others can be benefited. Teachers sacrifice a lot so that his students can be benefited a lot. Mother sacrifice a lot so that her kids are getting a lot of benefits, growing in a better climate. Sacrifice. Stakeholders interactions. We are working for the society, but we are not listening from the society. It is equally important to listen to the society. Risk and return, to know what we are doing, how it is good for the society, how it is good for the human being, for the family. And there are 5 important pillars in our education system. Observation, observe, empathetically observe. Not just observe, observe empathetically. Empathy is very, very core here. Experimental. Try to experiment something new. Kautilya has experimented a lot for the society. Many, many gurus have experimented a lot for the society. Vishwamitra has experimented a lot for the society. Experimental. Innovative. Innovative for the cause of society, for the betterment of the society. Have a skill, possess a skill, because you are going to contribute to the society. You are going to work for the society. You need to have all those skills. And you should know the management of resources, because you have limited number of resources. You have certain limitations there, but you should know how better you can manage, whether it is time, whether it is agricultural output, whether it is family fund. All these things must be managed well so that you can have efficiency, prosperity, and better outcomes. This was the education. I'm not a person of education, but I just tried to understand with my little understanding. What was the education in India? Why India was so great and it is not today? Then I discussed with somebody. He told me to browse through the data presented by Angus Medicine. I keep on using this data in every presentation that I make at any forum. This gives me a lot of power to tell more about my country, to tell more about Bharat. And this is very important data for all who are participating here. It is not Indian data. Angus Medicine is not Indian economist. He's a known economist. He's working for many economies. He has no bias for India as well. When I see his data, it is available, anybody can browse through. In century one, this country was leading the whole globe. And today we are talking about self-reliant India. Today again we are talking about self-reliant India. Why? I'm posing this question to everybody who is attending this workshop. Why? India used to contribute more than 30% of world GDP share. Many countries were not born even. They were not there at all. And we are following them today. I was listening, Mr. Kauri, about Shuddha Labh, Shubh Labh. Basically, that is the thought. There we lost everything. When we moved to Shuddha Labh, we lost Shubh Labh. And we came very low. Very low. And the country which was leading the whole globe with the Shubh Labh is nowhere now because of Shuddha Labh. This is not just two words. These are the mindsets. India was leading. China was the second. Till 15th century, we were there. Even if I see the other data, the rest of the time frames, we were quite better. But why this has happened? India lost its contribution. There are certain reasons which I'm trying to portray here. These are the reasons. This is simply my analysis. I'm again putting a rider here. This is my analysis of understanding. I'm trying to understand why it happened. It happened because of mechanization in industrial production. We were leading when we were manufacturing with hands. We had no machinery. Our machinery was much indigenous, our own machinery, our own technology, our own indigenously developed tools. Then we were leading the whole globe. The time when machines came and we started following other nations, we started following simply good looks, sophisticated machinery, we lost our share. We used to operate huge cargo ships to put our products in the global market. Now today we are trying to capture global market, but there's a neighbor very close to us which is putting all his garbage in a country like India because we are not in a position to produce. We simply started following people. That is where we lost our contribution, our leadership, our legacy. The whole value chain, global value chain, broken because we had nothing to export. Started following people, started making raw material for others. Basically, I consider it the lack of leadership in the country. They could not think what they should do, why they should simply produce for others and not for ourselves. Started using artificial colors. This country, which was purely organic country, having all those medicinals, healthy crops, unique crops for good health, started following others for the colors, for the flavors, for the designs. Again, we did a mistake here. Could not make it good. Market is so smart. It gives always important attention to those who are giving good margins. Many Western companies came, started giving good margins because the product was of a very, very low quality, started giving good margins. Our traders, our businessmen started selling those things. That is how we killed our own SMEs, small and medium enterprises. Human efforts started getting less of attention than the machine made. In the general market I'm talking about, still the elite market focuses only on handmade things. The handmade things are more costlier, even costlier in the market than the machine made things. And we were best in handmade that we lost. Now think about if total global handmade production we used to give, see our size of the economy. But no, we lost it. We started following other countries, started production through machines. Market has no confidence about handmade because people, the public, the buyer needs low cost. They have nothing to do with the nation. They don't think about the nation. They need to buy low cost things, that's all. Whether it's China made or anything else, anybody else who's making a low cost, we don't think about. We simply buy it because we have to maintain our wallet, rather country situation. Foreign lands products started dominating. Problems are also different today, and we never thought of solving our own problems. We always do a lot of research for developed nations. I was simply thinking someday that what all we are doing. We are doing a research for somebody who is simply using the data and getting it published in good journals and getting some prize, and then converting it into a product, and again, it is going to come in my country and I'm going to buy it. I'm doing a legwork for all those people. Why? The innovativeness is not there at all. This is the problem of our education system because we teach how to get good marks. I'm also a faculty member and I'm doing the same thing, so I can blame it. We're simply teaching people to get good scores, get good jobs, get good salary, and then buy Chinese material. That is what we all are doing. Keeping all these things, I think we need entrepreneurship. Seeing all these things, we need entrepreneurs in the society. And these are the few things that I could say that these are required in a country like India. We need to utilize full capability of our individuals. Our people are not there just to do a work for somebody else. They have their brains. They are super intellectuals on this globe. This country has produced best of brain across, which is best. And across the globe, it is rated best. But we are simply utilizing it for somebody else's vision and dream, working for somebody else as a job provider, that's all. Means the full capability of an individual is not being used because he is in a job where about 40-30% of his intellect can be used, that's all. That is enough for that job. We need good entrepreneurs because entrepreneurs are utilizing their capability at the fullest. Why? Because they have all those uncertainties, risk, which are to be managed. And that basically needs a lot of intellect. It enhances the confidence. When you produce something, go in the market, get the feedback, come back again update, again go in the market, your confidence boosts like anything. That is why we need entrepreneurs. We need confident people, confident society in the country like India. Sensing opportunity that has a value. What we are doing, we are simply copying things from some countries and thinking that they all will work here. Why they will work here? Those countries are having different kind of problems. They have different kind of settings. Society is entirely different. And we are trying to simply copy and paste same things here. No, it will not work. You need to know the problems of this country. You need to know the problems of an individual, the society, the family. Then, if you identify a good opportunity, it will work. It will do. I'll give here one example. A very known example of our neighboring country, Bangladesh. We all are, I hope everybody is aware about that. A very known professor of economics, Muhammad Yunus. I'm talking about Muhammad Yunus, who got Nobel Peace Prize for such a wonderful work, which I need to cite here. A professor, generally professor used to teach, that's all. That is what we think. That is what professors are doing. I'm a professor, so I can say that. They think that they have to go to a class. Whatever they learned 20 years ago, they need to discuss in the class. And they need to get a good salary. But why we are talking about Muhammad Yunus? He's not like this. They don't think that professor is there just to take a class and get a salary. No. He thinks that professor has more responsibility than anybody else because he's more educated. He knows the society and he's very important agent of the society, change agent of the society. What he did, he visited in nearby villages to know the situation. Got to know that women of those villages making bamboo baskets. He asked from women, how much you are getting on each basket? The women group replied, we get some percentage, 2%, 2 taka on each basket. Professor replied, oh, only this much? Why? They replied, no, we can't get much because we are simply job workers. We get raw material from somebody, we make it, we give it to him, he sells in the market, and he gets all those benefits. Professor Muhammad asked, why don't you buy the raw material? What rocket science is here? It is simply a basket and you need a raw material of bamboo, that's all. You can buy it from the market and you can make your own baskets, sell it in the market. The answer was very good by women group. No, we can't buy because we don't have money. Banks also don't give money to us because we are not having any collateral. Banks give money to those who have money. Answer was fantastic. Reality. That is what the system we have. We learn from the West. We learn from the West the system that gives money to those who have money. Professor Muhammad Yunus went to the bank, asked for the banker, hey, why don't you give money to these ladies? They know how to make the baskets. They simply need very small funding. Banker was also very smart. He told, sir, you are the professor of economics, you know better. This is not ours money. No? This money is being kept by a saver, the account holder, who keeps his money here so that we can save his money and maximize his money, return with some interest. How we can give money without having a security, without a collateral? Banker was correct. Professor understood the situation. Yes. Professor asked, can you give money to me? Banker told, why not? You are a salaried person. We can give. You have money. You are eligible to get money. That is what the system is. Those who have money, they can get money. Professor Muhammad Yunus took the loan, distributed among the women. Women used so well, made baskets, sold in the market, and repaid that money on time to Muhammad Yunus with lots of blessings. They become self-reliant. I can use your word self-reliant now. unless you make individual self-reliant, country can't be self-reliant. It cannot be. Individuals, when I'm talking about, I'm talking the last person of the society who has nothing basically. You need to make him self-reliant first. Make her self-reliant first. Then only you can talk about self-reliance of the country. He did that, and because of this model, many countries across the globe, it is Africa, it is India, it is Southeast Asia, many countries got benefited because of this one model, microcredit, microfinance we all are aware about. He identified the problem, opportunity he sensed so well, and I see him a social entrepreneur. Entrepreneur needs to know love, creativity, imagination, and innovation. Another story here, small story from our country, our own country. We all are aware about the Arvind Eye Care, down south, a very known hospital for eye health care. Professor VG, the person I'm talking about, Professor VG, after retirement as an eye surgeon, started Arvind Eye Care. The idea was to give services to those who can't pay. How a doctor thinks. I'm really surprised seeing today's doctors. I'm really surprised how Professor VG thinks. To give services to those who can't pay. How to sustain, he developed very unique model. Different types of facilities he has created. Facilities where those who can pay can avail those facilities. Facilities where moderately those who can pay can avail facilities. And facilities where people can't pay but still gets all those facilities. The model is those who pay for facilities are sponsoring services for those who are not in a position to pay. This is the model. This is Indian society I'm talking about. Creativity, imagination, how to solve the problem. Innovation, a social innovation. Through society only he solved the whole problem. Means he's not doing anything. Simply somebody who wants to pay is paying, and the person who wants to take benefit is taking benefit. Everybody is happy with this model. New solutions to the society's problem. People are trying to solve problems with the new solutions. And also we need entrepreneurs to create institutions where people who are having skills can come, can work, can achieve their desired goals and become interdependent. Not independent, interdependent. You depend upon me, I depend upon you. We both are interdependent. This is why we need entrepreneurs. This is the reason we need entrepreneurs in society. Now I'm talking a little bit about the society. Though I am not a person of society, basically I'm a faculty member of Entrepreneurship Development Institute of India. Here we talk about entrepreneurship only. We know entrepreneurship. We don't know anything about other than entrepreneurship. We have our full-time programs, master's programs, doctoral programs, and many developmental programs for women, for tribal people, for rural people. For anybody who is interested in entrepreneurship, we do a lot of things for them. Society. I am putting two pictures here. One is about Nalanda and one is about Indian Ayurveda. Society. We say it as the Bharatiya Samaj. It starts with one individual. I am individual. I am the smallest unit of the society. At the beginning, at the first unit of the society. When many individuals come together, it's a community, it's family, it's village, it's country, it's world. We have this thought that the whole globe is one society. We believe in that. It is not new for us. Today, many global forums are talking about the whole globe is one family. We are thinking this from thousands and thousands of years ago. We thought that the whole globe is one society. What they do basically, what society needs, and through this I will talk about the entrepreneurship, the manifestations of the society. It is doing something for the livelihood through its skills, either individual or the family. They all do something for their livelihood. It may be agriculture, it may be trading, whatever. They can do manufacturing, trade. We also have a banking system in the society, the processing of our produce from the farms, agricultural produce. Education is very important part of our society. Dharma, dhyan, and puja is again very, very important tool to connect everybody, to network everything, so that it looks like one. Security of the nations, of the individuals, research and development of the society. This is what society basically does. I could see these things with my understanding. What society did, Indian society did in the past, whether it's field of medicines, we know Charak, Samhita and all. I'm not going much into detail about that. What we did, we all should know who we are. We all should know what we have contributed to the whole globe. We all should know how again we can contribute, because the same land, this is the same land that has led the whole globe. Whether it's business, education, research and development, science, all these things will led the whole globe. In medicines, simply one thing, Ayurveda today, we all are quite aware in this corona situation. Suddenly, people started thinking about Ayurveda. We have been practicing it from thousands and thousands of years. And it is still contributing. If you go in the villages, if you go in some families, people are still practicing it. They're so healthy, happy and all. Medicines, we have contributed, a lot of innovations have happened. We need people who can document that what innovations we did in medicine field, in surgery, in astronomy. Oh, in astronomy, what not we did. Still we are following Panchangs that tells everything about the whole system. Though I don't know how many people believe about that, but yes, it tells everything. And in advance, it tells everything. The good thing is in advance, at least 1 year in advance, Panchang comes and it says exactly the way it happens. Don't you think it is innovation and it is technology, it is the science? Mathematics, we all are aware about. What not we give in mathematics. In food habits, I was reading some article published by one university in US. They claim that in India, corona will not spread because Indians have different food style. And the food habit is so scientific. Because of that, they always eat fresh and hot food. And many other things. The article talks in detail about our own food style, food habits. Don't you think it is innovation? For a land like a different climate, still we have different kind of food and we are so healthy. Agriculture, agroclimatic zones. Several agroclimatic zones we have. And we all know in which climatic zone, what kind of crop would be best produced. We do that. We do that in all best possible manner. Manufacturing, already I discussed. Manufacturing of several things with handmade things, with our own indigenously developed tools. Trade, whether domestic or global, we identified many routes to trade to many countries. We did that, thousands of years we did that. Now, I will be talking about some opportunities, as I was told that I need to talk a bit about that so that entrepreneurship can be related here. Seeing the situation, these are the few opportunities that I'll share here in Ayurveda. Since the market gets good attention today, we need to think about how Ayurveda can be developed in a better manner so that it attracts each and every family on the globe, on this planet. Farming of medicinal crops. A few companies are doing so great. I will not name those companies who are doing Ayurveda, manufacturing Ayurveda products. A very few. Think about the population on the whole globe, on this planet. If they all need Ayurveda products, we need to have good amount of crop production. And all our farms, whether it's tulsi, aloe vera and all, we know very few. But there are thousands of varieties of medicinal plants. People are aware about. We need to focus a lot so that farming can be enhanced. Production of medicines can be done in villages because it won't need much of machinery. Sometimes the leaves of the plant works, sometimes the stem works, sometimes the flower works, and we have to simply pack it with all those hygiene and maintaining the processes, standard process. That's all. We don't have big plant and machinery for that. Consulting for Ayurveda, trading for Ayurveda, manufacturing, branding, these all are the areas for those who are thinking about new businesses in Ayurveda sector. Yoga and medicines. Lot of centers are opening up across globe. This is high time for us to come up to tell the whole globe that yoga and meditation is the best way to have peace in the mind of individual, in the family, in the society, in the whole country. Yoga and meditation is a must. Channels can be developed there, web portals can be developed, videos, yoga consulting centers, all can be done there. When I'm talking about the agricultural sector, I split it into two parts, pre-harvest and post-harvest. If I want to buy a mobile phone, I have several e-commerce companies. I want to buy a TV, many companies are there available. A lot of discounts are also available. But when I'm thinking to buy something for my farmer, basically I come from a farmer family, so I know. We want to buy something for the field, no. Whether it's pesticide or fertilizer or seeds, no. No startup is available. No e-commerce company is providing the facility for the farmer. About 60% families live on agriculture, but we don't have any startup. Basically, they need lot of cost efficiencies. They need discounts so that whatever they produce can be low cost and we can buy again at low cost. It is in our interest only. It is in the interest of families who live in the cities. We should create something for those farmers. E-commerce is the best possible thing which we can do right now. Mobile applications for soil testing. If a farmer wants to test the soil, it takes a lot of time. He takes the soil, go to the lab, again it's a government lab, lot of pressure is there. It takes time. So handy gadgets can be developed. Tools for farming like drones are helping a lot today for the spray, for all those kind of supports. We need to have good technologies which can help farming, can reduce cost of farming so that farmer can also earn something. Farmers as skill education, they also need to know how to store well, how to have right kind of processes, how to have right kind of timelines, all these skills to be developed in the farmers. Mobile applications for pricing, again, it's a need. Post-harvest, if we can have processing units near farms. Today, what is happening? We produce things in the farm. We send those produce for processing. Again, people from the villages go and work in the cities for processing. It comes back to the village again through retail store and we buy in the village. What all we created? People are migrating from village area to city area. They need to take homes. They need to pay a lot of cost. The cost increases with this, and with this cost increase, the produce cost is increased as well. then it comes back to the rural areas where there is no money and they need to buy the products on the high cost. Why can't we have all these things in the near the farms, where whatever we produce, we process there, we get local labor there, cost is also less, labor also needs not to buy and take rental premise, their cost of living is again less, and we can produce process things at very low cost with good quality. And with that, we reduce the perishability of the farm produce as well. Cold chain and distribution for fruits and vegetables, lot of things perished in the transit itself. We need to have startups, entrepreneurs who can manage cold chains and distribution network for fruits and vegetables. I know one entrepreneur, he is IIMA gold medalist topper. He did not take placement and he went to a state in Bihar, started working with farmers, started integrating farmers. And with that integration, what he did, he told farmers that you give good quality farm produce, vegetables and fruits to me, I will give you money in advance. You give me with all cleanliness and hygiene. Farmers are so happy when they get money in advance. Generally, it never happens. Today, startups are getting money in advance. If I want to buy a jeans, I need to pay in advance. After 3-4 days, I get my jeans. But when I go to a farmer's store, I ask the things first, then I pay the money. Basically, they need money in advance so that they can produce well, they can process well, and then we can get good things. Same idea. With this empathy only, Mr. Kaushalendra, he went Bihar, did this, integrated all those people, started giving in advance money to them. Farmers wholeheartedly started giving all those farm produce, good quality produce to him. Then he used to bring it in the city, clean it, short it, and put in the lanes in the colonies on time. Again, give money in advance to farmers. Farmers are so happy. This kind of businesses are still the need of our economy, of our society. Storage is a big problem. Shorting, grading of farm produce is a big problem. People can come up in this space, can develop the e-commerce companies or startup companies. E-sabji, e-fruit, e-salad is the future. Tomorrow we're all going to buy on e-platforms only. And the last one is Ghar Ka Farmer. We all are so health cautious today. After Corona, everybody is trying to enhance the immunity of his body. That is what we all are doing. And Ghar Ka Farmer is a concept where you can have a farmer for your or 2-3 families. Together you can hire a farmer. He will produce crops for you of your choice, of your variety that you will tell. With your style, you want organic, non-organic, whatever. And he will be more than happy because he will get his money on time. You will be more than happy because you are getting everything fresh from the field, organic and variety and all those. These things are going to come. Startups would be needed, entrepreneurs would be needed in this space as well. Livestock and fisheries, Gau Seva in our society, in our Samaj, it has been rated top on the top, Gau Seva. But in past about 1,000 years, we could not understand the role of a cow in the family. We are very mean while thinking about a cow. We are simply relate ourselves with the milk of the cow, that's all. We don't go beyond that. But those in few families where people think they follow the tradition, they take it very seriously. They think that cow is in the center of the whole economy. And basically it is. Cow is in the center of the whole economy. If you are coming from agricultural background, you can easily understand that. Whether it's cow dung, cow urine, all these things are very, very important for the health of the crop of yourself. So dairy is a big business and many other things related to cow you can do a business. Cold chain and distribution network we need to have in livestock. Fodder farming. Fodder is again a big challenge today. What kind of fodder, best fodder you can provide to your livestock? It goes to livestock, that is very important. And one cow, one family, like Gharka farmer, customized farmer, one cow, one family will be a future business opportunity where people can identify a person who can rear cow on his behalf. The breed of the cow can be of my choice, and the kind of settings, facilities I want to give the cow, I can decide that. And then I will be more than happy to have a person who will simply have a cow for me only, and I can get a quality and fresh milk. Fisheries, government is pushing a lot for fisheries. So fish farming in villages through clusters, we can develop clusters of fish farmers, and through which we can develop them so well so that they can be self-reliant. Many of our states like Odisha, Bangladesh, they are having this, but they need again very important attention so that they can develop it so well. Fresh fish, from supply fish from pond to home. Fish seed is again a great opportunity. Now, indigenous skills, what we all have. So, handmade paper, handmade paper still. I'll give one example here of handmade paper. There is a place near Jhansi in Uttar Pradesh, Kalapi, just the bank of Yamuna. That is the place where a lot of handmade paper units are operating. And they are operating from many, many years, hundreds of years. Means people say that it is a place of Birbal. It is a place of Birbal who worked with Akbar. And from Kalapi, the handmade paper, basically in this part, after 1500 people started manufacturing there. Basically, handmade paper is in the literature, people say that it is invented in China. But I did my thesis on this. It is there in India from thousands and thousands of years ago when China was not there anymore. So, and we used to have Talapatra, Tamrapatra, then Kastapatra, Bhojpatra, and handmade paper. So we have a series of all these things from Kastapatra to Bhojpatra. We all are aware about that. So handmade papers of that variety, and basically this industry has a very good potential outside. 90% of the handmade paper produced is going to other countries because it is totally handmade and it has no chemical use. And all those countries who are very cautious about the chemical use in their products, they are not using chemical paper. Chemical used paper means mill-made paper. They are using handmade paper for their crafts, for visiting cards, for files, for folders, for lampshades. Thousands of products can be made with the handmade paper. Craft, wooden craft, jewelry, iron-based, hundreds of types of crafts we have. We need to again push them to the global market so that we can again regain our status of self-reliant India. Clothings, embroidery and hand-woven, lot of clothings, antique, food. Our food is so popular across the globe. We need to capitalize it again so that people can think about Indian food. All the system that we have in the society, we lost. Wood carving, we don't have. Ironsmith, generally we used to say lohar. We are not getting that now because people are more interested in jobs. But this indigenous knowledge, which is there for thousands of years, we used to have lohars in the villages. They need to make a lot of things for us. We need not to rely on the companies, whether it's a Fawla, whether it's Kulhari, all these things are being made by lohars. We're not getting these people now. Carpenters, badhai, pura ghar ka furniture, everything they need to make. They have lot of techniques to reduce the resource and to enhance the efficiency. We are not getting those kind of carpenters. Sunar, Rajgir, Murtikar, Kumhar. Again, I'm very happy that this government is pushing a lot about the Kumhars and in a few things. These kulhars, the pottered cups are very, very much popular and people are using it. And craftsmen. These are the knowledge-based people very, very important people, very, very unique people, expert people of the society. We are losing them because we are totally reliant on the stores. If you want to buy things from the store, we cannot expect a Lohar in the village. We need to go to Lohar. We need to ask them to make. He will feel happy and he will continue with the tradition that he has from thousands of years. If we want to strengthen potters, we need to go there, tell that, hey, in my marriage function, I want to take kulhars. You please make for us. He will feel proud. He will feel happy. He will be with us. And then the system, the tradition will be continued for many years. It is our responsibility to use all these skills and skill-based enterprises were the backbone of self-reliant India. Why I kept this slide as the last? Because these were the people who made self-reliant. These were the people, these were the change agents who made India's GDP share 30% on the whole globe. And since they are not there, we cannot expect self-reliant India. We cannot, because these are the people who made. Still, they have a lot of value. Still, they have a lot of knowledge, which can be enhanced, which can be sharpened, and which can be again taken into cognizance so that our country can benefit a lot from these things. The last slide, this land is one of the best, brilliant humankind lived here. One of the best. I will not name from Aryabhatta to all these people. We know, we need to think about them again. They lived here. Most favorable climate on the ecology. Most favorable climate. We have good rains, we have good summer, we have good winters. We have all those climates good for the crops, for the human being, for the human body. The best land. Every individual has a thought. In our country, it is not like that. Every individual has his own thinking. He has his own idea. He knows how to manage resource. And he has his own ways to lead the country. One person, one simple person, Kautilya, Chanakya we say, what not he did for this nation. Everybody in our country has intellect like that, brilliance like that. Best land for farming, anything that has value for humankind, we have in this country. Extraordinary breed of cow and other livestock we have in our country. All those skills, whether Kumhar or all those skills available, which are required to have happy and healthy life. So where is the problem? The problem is, the concern is people don't think about the country before taking a step or any decision. They need to think about this. If I'm going to buy a thing made from some other country, I need to think about why not I'm buying made from my own country. Why not I'm going to take produce from my own village, from my own farm? Why not I'm trying from my own Kumhar, from my own Lohar? Why not I'm doing that? Just because of this, just because of not thinking about my village people, my ecosystem players, my change agents of villages, I'm losing a lot. This is what I wanted to tell here. Thank you very much for giving me time. I think I took less than an hour and I completed my talk. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, sir. It was a wonderful presentation, sir. Entrepreneurship is utilizing full capabilities of individual. Entrepreneurship is a way to contribute to nation building. If individuals are self-reliant, then only India can become self-reliant. Sir, you have very well explained about social innovations in different sectors, like innovations in medicines, mathematics, agriculture sectors, etc. Now, I invite Mr. Ajit Tiwari to give her special remarks.
Thank you very much, ma'am. Thank you.
अजीत जी हेलो
जी हेलो
अजीत जी हमारी आवाज सुन रहे हैं
जी आपकी आवाज आ रही है सर आप कुछ बोलना चाह रहे हैं सर? ओके, सो थैंक यू वेरी मच सर। डॉक्टर अमित द्विवेदी जी हमारे साथ।
आवाज सुन, धन्यवाद बधाई। द्विवेदी जी आवाज सुनो हमारी? मैं अरविंद शुक्ला बोल रहा हूँ।
जी नमस्कार, नमस्कार शुक्ला जी, मैं आपकी आवाज सुन रहा हूँ।
सुनार कुम्हार इसकी बात करते हैं, और मेरी सत्ता में बैठे जिन लोगों से बात होती है, मैंने अभी इस बीच में द्विवेदी जी की बात को कोट किया है लोगों से। हमने कहा भाई आप हमारे कुम्हारों को, लोहारों जो भी प्रोफेशनल काम करते हैं, तो मोदी जी का कौन सा सपना पूरा होगा सेल्फ रिलायंट इंडिया का? मुझे नहीं लग रहा मेरी आवाज जा रही है, क्योंकि कुछ प्रॉब्लम लग रही है। तो बहुत बहुत बधाई अजीत जी, ओवर टू।
ओके, थैंक यू सर। सो थैंक यू वेरी मच। डॉक्टर अमित द्विवेदी जी ने बहुत ही सारगर्भित अपना वक्तव्य पूरा किया। हमारे साथ अभी भी मैं देख पा रहा हूँ आदरणीय तुलसी टावरी जी हमारे साथ अभी वो जुड़े हुए हैं। डॉक्टर आदरणीय तुलसी टावरी जी का उद्बोधन, जिसमें उन्होंने समाज, सोसाइटी कैसे निर्मित हुआ, सोसाइटी निर्मित होने के साथ सोसाइटी में फिर एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप की प्रवृत्ति कैसे आई या आती है, सोसाइटी में एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप की प्रवृत्ति के साथ इन्होंने शुभ लाभ और अशुभ लाभ की बात करी। जो अगर हम अपनी स्मृतियों को देखते हैं, अपने शास्त्रों को देखते हैं, तो नारद स्मृति में शुक्ल धन, सबल धन और कृष्ण धन की बड़ी विस्तृत चर्चा है। आदरणीय तुलसी टावरी जी ने उद्यमिता के व्यापक अर्थों पर भी चर्चा की, तो यह बहुत ही प्रासंगिक है। भारतीय शास्त्रों में उद्यमिता को लेकर इतने अलग अलग संदर्भों में चर्चा की गई। उद्यमशीलता का तात्पर्य सिर्फ व्यवसाय या व्यावसायिक गतिविधियों से ही नहीं। कौटिल्य ने अपने राज प्रणिधि में 18वां चैप्टर है पहले अधिकरण का, जिसमें उन्होंने कहा राजा को उद्योगी होना चाहिए। राजा उद्योगी नहीं होगा तो राज्य और राजा स्वयं नष्ट हो जाएगा। ए किंग मस्ट बी एन एंटरप्रेन्योर। इसके अतिरिक्त अलग अलग जगहों पर अगर हम ये देखते हैं, चाहे पंचतंत्र का उदाहरण लें, हितोपदेश का उदाहरण लें, शुक्र नीति का उदाहरण लें, तो उद्योगी पुरुषों के लिए, उद्यमिता के लिए, उद्यमशीलता के विभिन्न आयामों पर बहुत ही विस्तृत चर्चा की गई है। सो इसको आज के संदर्भ में आदरणीय तुलसी टावरी जी ने बहुत ही बखूबी, विस्तार पूर्वक और बहुत ही सरलता, सहजता से, सुगमता से इस बात को रखा कि यह सबके लिए सहज ही ये वो ग्राह्य हो गया। कोई भी इस बात को सहजता से समझ सका, को रिलेट कर सका। आदरणीय तुलसी टावरी जी ने इसमें बात करी कि कभी हम केव में रहते थे, केव में रहे होंगे, या केव में रहने के बाद में गांव और नगरों में आए होंगे। एक छोटी सी, जैसे आज एक चर्चा चलती है कि बहुत सारे लोग गांव से माइग्रेशन होने के, मास माइग्रेशन होने के कारण गांव से शहरों में आ रहे हैं, तो ग्राम्य जीवन और नगरीय जीवन की बात करते हैं, रिवर्स माइग्रेशन की भी बात होती है। पौराणिक कहानियों में हमारे यहाँ एक उदाहरण आता है कि ग्राम्य जीवन में समस्याएं बढ़ने लगती हैं, तो ऋषियों का, जैसा कि हमारे यहाँ ऋषियों के एकत्रीकरण की बड़ी परंपरा है। 12 वर्षों में कुंभ में ऋषियों का एकत्रीकरण होता है। 12 कुंभों के बाद 144 वर्षों में नैमिषारण्य की परंपरा थी। अब शायद है कि नहीं, क्योंकि 144 वर्ष बहुत लंबी काल अवधि होती है। तो उस परंपरा में वहां ऋषियों के बीच चर्चा होती कि हम ग्राम्य जीवन के ये हो गए हैं, ग्राम्य जीवन के प्रति हमारा अनुराग विशेष बढ़ गया है। हमें अगर समस्याओं से मुक्त होना है तो हमें अरण्य जीवन को पुनः हमें स्वीकार करना होगा। ग्राम्य जीवन के प्रति जो हम आदी हो गए हैं, इस अभ्यास को हमें छोड़ना होगा। इसके साथ ही उद्यमिता के व्यापक अर्थों पर जिस प्रकार से प्रकाश डाला, और उसी क्रम में डॉक्टर अमित द्विवेदी जी ने बहुत ही विस्तार पूर्वक यह बताया, समझाया कि भारत उन्होंने इस बात को बार बार कहा कि भारत को आत्मनिर्भर पहले भी भारत था, भारत अपनी नीतियों और परंपराओं को छोड़ने के कारण आज इस स्थिति में पहुंचा कि एक बार पुनः हमको आत्मनिर्भर भारत बनने की बात, बनाने की बात की जा रही है। और उन्होंने विस्तार पूर्वक सारा व्याख्यान रखा कि कैसे हम आत्मनिर्भर थे। यह भी इन्होंने बहुत विस्तार से रखा कि क्यों हम कैसे हमारा कंट्रीब्यूशन घटता चला गया, कैसे हमारी चीजें होती चली गई, क्या हमारा जो ये अंगस मेडिसन के प्रति हमारी कृतज्ञता होनी चाहिए कि उन्होंने कम से कम यह बात तो रखा कि किस प्रकार से क्या क्या हमारा अलग अलग समय में क्या क्या योगदान था। उससे पहले पॉल बैरोक ने 1984 में जो अपना थीसिस रखा था, जिसमें पहली बार पॉल बैरोक ने कहा कि 1750 में दुनिया के सकल घरेलू उत्पाद का 25% सिर्फ भारत से आता था। तो इसको विस्तार से रखते हुए और जिस प्रकार से समाज में आज समाज की क्या भूमिका है, समाज को जो हमारा भारतीय समाज एक उद्यमी समाज था, उद्यमशील समाज था, समाज का मोर देन 80% जो है वो सीधा सीधा वेल्थ क्रिएशन में लगा हुआ था। अगर हम अपने यहाँ कार्य विभाजन, वर्ण विभाजन को अपनी शास्त्रीय पद्धति से देखते हैं, स्मृतियों के हिसाब से देखते हैं, कौटिल्य अर्थशास्त्र के हिसाब से देखते हैं, और लोक परंपरा जो जीवित है, अभी भी चीजों को जाकर जो देखा जा सकता है। अमित द्विवेदी जी ने बार बार अपने उद्बोधन में अलग अलग विशेषज्ञ कुल समूहों की, जातियों की बात करी और उनकी आवश्यकता पर बल दिया। सो हम बहुत आभारी हैं कि अपनी परंपरा को आज के समय में आज कैसे वह उपयोगी है। कौटिल्य इंटरनेशनल फाउंडेशन प्रारंभ से ही, और जो आज हमारे साथ नए पार्टिसिपेंट जुड़े हुए हैं उनको मैं बताना चाहता हूं। डॉक्टर अमित द्विवेदी जी कौटिल्य इंटरनेशनल फाउंडेशन के प्रारंभ से ही इसके एक आधार स्तंभ रहे हैं, और इसमें हम कैसे आगे बढ़े अलग अलग क्षेत्र में नियमित इनका हमें सानिध्य, सहयोग, मार्गदर्शन मिलता रहता है। अपने अनुभवों से ये हमें सिंचित अभिसिंचित करते रहते हैं। तो कौटिल्य इंटरनेशनल फाउंडेशन प्रारंभ से भारतीय ज्ञान परंपरा, उसके ऐतिहासिक परिप्रेक्ष्य और उसका कंटेम्पररी रिलेवेंस, आज के समय में उसकी क्या प्रासंगिकता है, उस पर कार्यरत है। और आज हमारे दोनों महानुभाव विद्वानों ने, विशेषकर मैं नाम लेना चाहूंगा डॉक्टर श्रीमान डी बाला सुब्रमण्यम जी का, जिन्होंने बहुत ही महत्वपूर्ण भूमिका निभाई, जिस कारण आदरणीय तुलसी टावरे जी के बात का और विस्तार हो पाया। तो मैं इन तीनों लोगों के प्रति, और आज हमारे कार्यक्रम में मैं देख पा रहा हूँ श्री कन्नन जी उपस्थित हैं, आदरणीय तुलसी टावरे जी के अभिन्न मित्र हैं, और सीके राजा साहब उपस्थित थे। इन सभी महानुभावों को मैं हार्दिक धन्यवाद ज्ञापित करता हूं। धन्यवाद। नाउ ओवर टू श्रुति मैम।
Thank you, sir. Now I invite Dr. Nisha Jindal, Assistant Professor MAIMS, to propose vote of thanks. Over to you, Nisha ma'am.
Thank you, Shruti ma'am. A very good evening to all dignitaries, faculty members, and all other participants. As we have come to the close of this session, it's my privilege to present vote of thanks. First of all, I would like to thank Mr. Tulsi Tavri, author of famous book Global Economics and Shubh Labh, a financial strategist active in India and Philippines. Sir, you very well explained that there is no society, it's a concept and not physical entity. When people come together, society begins for the purpose of achievement of common goals. We have to convert ourselves from job seekers to job creators. You told about knowledge entrepreneurs and pioneering entrepreneurs. Sir, your thoughts have enlightened our minds and have shown us a new path. I mention our deep sense of appreciation for sharing with us such valuable information. I also thank Dr. D. Subramaniam for their valuable insights. I would also like to thank Dr. Amit Kumar Dwivedi, Associate Professor, EDII, Ahmedabad. Sir, you throw light on how entrepreneurship is required for utilizing full capabilities of an individual and to create institutions that provides livelihood to others to achieve desired goals and becoming interdependent. You also told about handmade indigenous skills like paper, craft, clothing, antiques, goldsmith, etc. The lecture has been very educative and illuminating. We all are inspired by your great words. I also thank Dr. Raja for their motivating words. I also like to express my heartful thanks to Honorable Shri K.N. Govindacharya ji, founder patron, Kautilya International Foundation, respected Shri Baswaraj Patil ji, Rajya Sabha, patron, Kautilya International Foundation, and Honorable Dr. Nand Kishore Garg ji, founder and chief advisor, Maharaja Agarsen Technical Education Society, Chancellor, Maharaja Agarsen University, Baddi, patron chairman, Kautilya International Foundation, and all dignitaries of Managing Committee of Maharaja Agarsen Technical Education Society. Their able guidance has always encouraged us. I also like to thank respected Dr. S.K. Garg, Director General MAIMS, for his unseen support and guidance. I also thank Dr. J.P. Govil, Advisor MAIMS, for his valuable guidance. I also thank Dr. Neelam Sharma, Director MAIMS, and Dr. Ravi Kumar Gupta, Director MAIMS, and all advisory members for their unconditional support. I would like to thank Dr. Satvir Singh Deswal, National Convener, Kautilya International Foundation, Ms. Astha Bhardwaj, Chief Executive, Kautilya International Foundation, Shri Ajit Tiwari, Founder Director, Kautilya International Foundation, Mr. Ramesh Kumar, National Co-Convener, Kautilya International Foundation, Dr. Rudresh Pandey, National Co-Convener, Kautilya International Foundation, and all other organizing committee members for their enormous cooperation. In the end, I thank to all faculty members and all participants for their valuable time in ensuring the success of today's sessions. Thank you all. Over to you, Vidhi ma'am, shooting. Thank you.
Can
I take 2 minutes?
Yes.
Of course, sir.
Thank you very much. See, I want to thank Mr. Tulsi Tawari sir and Amit sir. It's privilege that I got opportunity to listen these eminent speakers again and again. Seriously, the dream, the vision we are having in Kautilya International Foundation, what that change we are visualizing, and that seems very much achievable with the guidance and such a unconditional support from such great personalities. So it's my I can say I'm blessed to have such guiding people always. Whenever we need their help, they are always there to help us. And thank you very much, sir. And we are, dil mange more. And we are going to chase you again and again. And yes, we know that you are always there to help us. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Ramesh. Thank you everyone for joining us. Indeed, it has been a day of great learning and deliberations. Now, we request you to fill the feedback form, which will be shortly shared with you on your emails. And also, please join us for the days 2nd and 3rd of the workshop on 16th and 17th August with the same link. Thank you, everyone. Stay safe, stay happy, stay.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. We are closing the session now. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, everyone.